Hello? 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 Marcia?
Hello.
Hey, you called, I answered.
Oh, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of electronic problems.
Oh. Ah, Jesus.
No, I just have a beard.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to call you right back. I got a crisis call. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am. It's 11:27 here. It's 10:27 her time. This is not okay. I'm in crisis as well. I've been in crisis for 5 years. But I have a penis, so I have to hide it and pretend everything is okay. It's not okay. Finally got someone to help go through this and listen to it and look at it, and it's just too much. It's not that I'm not trying. Let's see how long it takes her to get back to me. If she does. She messaged me earlier because there was a crisis. And now there's another crisis. There's always a crisis. The people who need the help are not getting it. These folks, Region 1, Region 2, both overwhelmed. Both with overwhelming caseloads. That was quick. Hey, Marcia.
Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Yes.
Ma'am, this stuff has been going on. It's obvious from everything from the very start that everybody who works in any of these industries that are supposed to help us, that they're all aware of the corruption, they're aware of how screwed up it is. Instead of telling the victims that they can't do nothing, I mean, literally, all these services that are supposed to help, sending me to other services, it's too much. I mean, I'm trying to show the abuse to someone who's actually going to help me, and my abusers having badges allows them to commit felony after felony, and without people actually looking at it, they get to abuse their power over and over again. And almost all of you guys have admitted that you're aware of the corruption in western Nebraska. It's not just western Nebraska, obviously, but oh God, I hate my computer beeping at me all the friggin' time. That's the thing.
I did make a call to disability rights. I'm waiting for her to call back.
I've made
Um,
hundreds of calls to disability rights. The thing is that we have to do it together. It does have to be recorded so
right,
that, people's memories are flawed. My recordings are not.
right. And so what I've done is I've told her that, I'm working with an individual and that we would like to schedule a time so that when I am with you, that we could figure out a way to talk to her about this, even if she came down to Sydney when you were there.
That's another thing, like with the Sydney Sheriff's Department and the Sydney Police Department and the Nebraska State Patrol taking part in that. I got escorted all the way to North Platte when I left Chapel the other day. First,
Okay.
I had a state patrol vehicle was on the turnoff to go towards Julesburg, and he was pointed the Julesburg direction. He saw me and flipped around and followed me almost to mile marker 115, and he was dangerously close. There were points in time where he was a car length or less behind me.
Okay. Do you think he was trying to provoke or egg you into doing something or being erratic or that?
I don't know what he was doing, but I know immediately after that there was a sheriff's patrol vehicle once I got to Keith County, which is only just a few miles away, and he pulled out in front of me and drove all the way to the Lake McConaughey turnoff. And then after that, you can tell which vehicles are unmarked because they're
Yeah.
the gray ones, and then they have the black, just basic rims. It's a brand new vehicle. Looks all sorts of pretty, and just black, basic rims. Extremely tinted windows. And then I get treated like I'm crazy for saying it. Meanwhile, I couldn't exactly pull out my phone and take pictures of it or record it because that's
No.
illegal while driving.
Yes. Yes.
If I'd have pulled over, they'd use that as some sort of an excuse. And I have to be afraid of this everywhere that I go. I mean, I tried to turn in Scott Costa repeatedly. When I was going through all of that, when it was Region 1 that was doing this, right out of the very same office you guys are working in. I mean, you know these people. You're aware of their work ethic. It's not like I'm saying anything that's new to anyone.
Right.
But I needed to be able to safely turn in Scott DaCosta in 2018, and what I got was Jen Beebe. That's not okay. And then with people telling me, instead of telling me that there's almost no chance that I'll win or almost no chance that anything will happen, well, that's the problem with somebody who is an at-risk adult. This is exactly why I am at risk. This shows why I'm at risk. This shows how easy it is for predators, especially in law enforcement, to get away with it. I mean, that safety issue in Chapel, Nebraska, when I was trying to turn in Scott DaCosta over and over again, Mandy has been helping me go through this stuff here. We don't have enough time. We don't have time. If it hadn't been for them pulling this BS again, trying to pretend like I'm threatening harm against somebody that I'm not, trying to use their children as an excuse to do these horrible things, and they do that over and over again. And yes, according to Nebraska state law, that is child abuse. And although those laws are written specifically for divorce courts and for separation and situations like that to prevent false reporting and stuff in the courtroom, the fact is that it's still on the books and it is still child abuse. And I've looked up these laws so many times, that's the whole point of going to you guys. And before you guys took over for Region 1, that was the whole reason for going to Region 1. I needed someone to help me to safely go to the police and have these things turned in and actually taken seriously. I found
Okay.
the recording that I was looking for with Tara Smith. I had to do that at the Dual County Sheriff's Department because there was nowhere else to meet her. So then I have to try to explain the situation as best I can, and Meanwhile, Scott DaCosta knows I've been trying to turn him in. The Nebraska State Patrol made me turn in Scott DaCosta to Scott DaCosta. And then they sent Scott DaCosta to my door, and him and a State Patrol Officer Lassen, or State Trooper Lassen, assaulted me. They put their knee on the back of my neck. I mean,
And then, is that when you got EPC'd or put in jail, or was that in 2018, or was that more recently?
That was in December of 2020.
Okay.
And, when I was trying to turn them in again, the Nebraska State Patrol, obviously the things that they were claiming are untrue, because they said that they can't police the police. They absolutely can. It's their job to do this.
Well, that each department polices the one below it,
But they aren't doing it. See, when Michelle Quinn, one of the places that Scott Costa sent me after I was arrested for bogus charges, one of the places that he sent me was Garden County Jail. Now, in Garden County Jail, the sheriff there is Michelle Quinn. Michelle Quinn beat the hell out of her girlfriend, and it didn't take them years to call back and do something. They went there immediately. It is their job to police the police. When there is police corruption, it is their job to do something about it, and they didn't make any effort to get a hold of me or reach out to me until the situation came to a head with Scott DaCosta. Now, with Wendell McPhee, he is a reliable person. He is a reliable source, but he's not going to come forward. You get what I'm saying?
I understand that. And I'm not telling you to not file anything. What I'm saying is you understand that nothing may come of this. And that all
I
that
don't need
information
that. 4,000 people telling me that, it does not help. That is anti-help. That is the opposite of help.
And what I'm recommending, and you can do what you want because you have
I am
so
an
much
at-risk adult.
There's so much information. If with disability rights here in Nebraska, I think she can only focus on the Nebraska stuff. And then if there is stuff in Colorado, she can provide, whoever in Colorado can work on things.
Well, the thing is, I've called disability rights over and over again. I've called all of these services over and over again with you and a person that might help.
Who have you talked to at disability rights?
Ma'am, I have recorded calls with disability rights telling me that it's not their job. Okay. I have calls with all of these people. Me and Mandy have been going through, there are literally thousands and thousands of recordings, ma'am.
Okay. So, have you called Nebraska Advocacy?
Ma'am, asking me who I've called over and over again. Yes, I've called all of these places. I need someone with me who is going to protect my rights, go in with me so that I can safely do that, because all they have to do is call me mentally ill and have me locked up again, and it's magically okay. I have not been allowed to defend myself in court. My rights have obviously been blatantly disregarded. Absolutely 100%, and I need actual help, and all of the stuff that I need help with I can't do myself, and that's what they're taking advantage of. The things I'm capable of doing, they keep taking away my ability to do that by charging me with bogus charges. I don't want to have to break the law to try to get help, but these guys have been breaking the law and harassing me and threatening me and abusing their power, and it has cost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars for these officers to do these things. Meanwhile, the stuff that I'm trying to show, this stuff has happened nationwide, and they absolutely do need to do something about the stuff in Colorado. That's the thing, is getting the stuff started here in Nebraska will help to force the people who are supposed to do something, like the FBI. This happened across multiple jurisdictions nationwide. People threatened my life from nearly every state in the union across the internet. They threatened me in real life almost everywhere that I went. I had to stay with alcoholics and drug addicts because Jen Beebe wouldn't do her job. And it wasn't just Jen Beebe. Every time that I go in, they want to...
When they threatened, Sean, breathe here. When they threatened your life, did anything come of it, or was it all on the internet?
It wasn't all on the internet. I've been
Did
going to
people
Scott DePaul.
actually come to your place and attempt to harm you?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
that's what I've been telling you this whole time. Yes. I have tried to explain this over and over again. Yes, 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 yes. I told you
Okay.
about that phone that showed the assault by Robert Warnick. I have the recordings of me going to these very officers repeatedly. I have those recordings live on YouTube for God and everybody to listen to and to see. That's the thing. I have been telling you and trying to tell me, did you call this place? Did you call that place? I've called all these places.
Okay.
I don't need people to push me on to somewhere else. I need someone to represent me to say, hey, it is not okay for these people to victimize him. He is an at-risk adult, and this shows exactly why these laws are in place that have been ignored.
Okay.
These laws are in place to protect me in this
slow down, because
situation.
then you get unraveled, and then you start bouncing all over the place, and it's hard to track that. So, you want someone to assist you. I understand that. Okay.
I need someone to assist me. It's my legal right.
Yes.
And that's the whole reason that I went to Region 1 to begin with, because Region 1 was supposed to help people like me with this situation. That's what I was told. Just like I was told all these other places are supposed to help me. But when I have to go in by myself and make these calls by myself, it ends up just being me being blown off. I mean, we've been trying this housing thing for friggin' ever. The people who are supposed to help me with that, Jen Beebe and Nicole Peralta, were supposed to work with me on that. And all of 2020, they did absolutely jack. By the way, the lady that I called and talked to about the situation, it was not Penny. It was, the woman's name is Teal. And the reason that I know that is because I found the recording with Teal. It's on the internet.
Sue Teal, yes.
And that's the thing, is that it's not that I'm not trying to turn this into the people that I'm supposed to. It's that they all blow me off and ignore me, and that I can't continue to do that. I can't afford to just keep on wasting all of my money to go to appointment after appointment and waste my time to go to appointment after appointment for people who say, well, it's probably not going to work. You know what? It's not going to work if no one does anything. I'm trying to show the abuse, and all these people seem to think that if they don't look at the abuse, then that makes it okay that they didn't do anything about it. I'm trying to show it. The reason that I went in with all of my phones is so that I could show you what I've been going through, so that I could show you actual evidence. And the same thing with Penny, and she just kept on blowing me off. We got to do the housing thing.
But within Penny's job description, she has to do things like housing, budgeting, securing entitlements. There's a very specific definition of what she is allowed to do.
But there's also the mandated
and I am
reporter
also
position.
limited, not due to definition, but because I have 30 clients that I have to work with in 40-hour week.
That's right,
So,
and that right there is a big portion of the reason that people like me fall through the cracks. All of my public pretenders told me they have overwhelming caseloads. All of my caseworkers told me they have overwhelming caseloads. All of my therapists said they had overwhelming caseloads.
but
Meanwhile,
that's
my
why
prejudice-
sometimes when you send me stuff, it does take me a day or two to look at it. I looked at the one where the officer came and gave you the things to file report. He gave you the papers.
Which officer was that?
It was, you were in chapel, and you were in, it looked like an antique store or
Yeah, that was at my grandmother's funeral when Ted Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger were harassing me. And that's the thing, that I was in Nebraska when that happened, and they were in Colorado, and that was not okay. And he gave me the papers, the stuff to fill out. I did fill it out. I did turn it in the best that I could, but I also had to do things based on the people that I had present. Graham wanted to go home. It was important for him to go home. He missed home. He wanted to go home. So we had to leave, and I had to shove that stuff in the friggin' crack of the door over at the courthouse. That's not the way that I should have had to do that.
no.
And that's only half of what happened, and Scott DeCosta admitted that that man didn't do his job. He admitted
Okay.
that that man did not write a police report. And repeatedly, like one of them, his name is Cody Selhorst, and I have the paperwork from him. He admitted that I went to him and talked to him for 3 hours. I was telling him about abuse that I was enduring in town and told him specifically the names of the people who were doing it. And some of those people's names I didn't find out until way later. Like Leslie Snell, her brother-in-law was one of the people who was threatening my life. But then later on, he started being nice to me and treating me like a human being. So, I don't want to press a bunch of charges against him and have him in a whole bunch of trouble for something that he realized he was wrong and he apologized for. But at
Right.
the same time, that event did happen, and that man can testify in court that those things did happen. And that's the thing, is that I can't defend myself. They call me mentally ill, my rights are gone. That's why I need you. That's why I need someone like Penny. That is why I need someone to be a caseworker to actually make sure that these people do their jobs. And they're not going to do their jobs when they keep on telling me, oh, well, have you called this place? Have you called that place? Yes, I've called them all. I need people to call them with me. And not just call them with me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, is what places do we need to call?
Most of these places, we need to call them again.
Okay.
If this is their job and they're blowing me off and I have the recordings, it's obvious that they're going out of their way to not do their jobs. Now, it's also obvious, based on all of these other cases and situations that are going on with these same people, things that I was told were untrue. The things that I was told about Scott DaCosta, where they repeatedly told me that I had to turn that into Scott DaCosta. Meanwhile, I'm trying to turn in Scott DaCosta. That is a conflict of interest. And then they want to tell me, oh, well, I thought you and Scott DaCosta were getting along. No, we're not getting along. I've still been trying to turn him in this entire time. What he did is wrong. What he's been doing is wrong. What they did with the courts is wrong. I've been trying to turn this in for the last
So, what would be an acceptable result from all of this for you? To be left alone, to see Scott DaCosta lose his job, to...
Ma'am, he committed felonies. He's not going to lose his job. He's going to go to prison.
Okay, so that is what you believe should happen, is he should go to prison.
Ma'am, he committed felonies. Yes, he will go to prison. That's the thing, is I need to be able to turn in my predators. This is 5 years of this, and allowing them to go free to do it to others is not acceptable. See, that's the thing, because I was called mentally ill. Tybra Hatay at Clearview, he's dead. The same things that I spoke out about, he is dead because of those exact things. And he would still be alive if I had been heard instead of given the mentally ill treatment. If I'd have had someone actually there in my corner to go in with me and help me to make those reports without having to be afraid. And I have to be afraid of anybody who gets government funding. Any organization that gets government funding, I have to be afraid of Adult Protective Services. I have to be afraid of Region 1. I have to be afraid of any of these places. I have to be afraid that they're just going to try to talk me out of not doing anything. The thing is, I have to be able to have the chance to show the abuse that I'm taking and how they're using the term mentally ill to abuse me and deny me my rights as a human being.
Okay. So if we can find an agency or an individual to represent you that's what they do, are you going to be able to accept if they say, well, whatever, this YouTube video is not beneficial to you, you don't, take it down or whatever, are you going to be able to listen and accept some of their ideas? I mean, I don't totally agree with our attorney that's helping us with our guardianship case, but he knows the law, and he says, well, this will not help. What we need is this, so...
And that's the thing, is that it's not about the YouTube videos, it's about the abuse. No matter what my YouTube videos say, no matter how people want to twist and manipulate it to their own BS, the fact is I have the right to defend myself against that, and I'm denied that right. I have the right to turn in my predators and have something actually done.
I'm not saying
you
don't have that right, Sean. I'm saying, are you able to listen to... If we're able to find a representative, are you able to listen to what they say and follow their recommendations?
Only if they take the time to look at what's going on and get informed. Me speaking out and me fighting for my rights is not against the law. And me taking down evidence that I am trying to get help, that's not against the law. Somebody asking me to do that because it's to my benefit, no. That shows the truth. That shows that people who have been through this is a trauma response. And for me to be asked to take that down, no, that shows the truth. It shows how hard I have tried to get help. Yes, I have meltdowns and I scream for help. And I shouldn't have to do that, and that is the point. If a lawyer is telling me to lie or to misrepresent the situation, I don't want to do that. I am against that 100%. I need someone to sit down with me and look at the evidence who can actually do something with it. Not people who are going to say it's not my job, or oh, it's probably not going to work. You know what? I record all of that. There's a reason for that. Because this is how we are treated. This is how we're blown off. This is exactly it. Well, you know, if you do this or if you do that. No, that's the thing, is that people want to ignore the fact that a disabled adult has gone through 5 years of abuse for trying to turn in their abusers.
Right.
Now,
and I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not saying you haven't, and that's what I want you to understand. I'm not a legal person. I don't know the laws. I don't know some of this stuff. I know bits and pieces, but that is not it's not what I'm educated in. So
well,
that's why I'm
the
trying
point,
to
is
help
that everybody
to find some agency that can assist you properly. Okay, I can assist you with making the phone calls. I can assist you with providing them the information. I can do all those things, but not 40 hours a week. I can't do that.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
And that's a lot of the problem with people before you not doing their jobs. That's not your fault, but it's also not my fault. And I'm the one victimized because they didn't do their jobs. It wouldn't have taken 40 hours a week. It wouldn't have taken 40 hours a week before Natalie died, and I was going to these places before Natalie died. All of these places that I'm told to go to, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls just on the internet. Then there's the ones that I saved, and the fact that I'm repeatedly told that I have to go to my predators for help, or told to go to these services that say they can't do nothing. If there's a crime committed against me, I call the place that you're supposed to call when it's a criminal thing, and they say, oh, well, we don't deal with civil stuff. So you call up the civil place, and they say, oh, we don't deal with criminal stuff. So literally, these actions are illegal. It's obvious to anyone who listens that these actions are illegal, but that's the thing about mandated reporters. I go there, I try to show the actual evidence instead of just having to talk about it. And people keep telling me, well, you only have this % chance of winning, or you only have that % chance of winning. You know what? Any chance is better than nothing, which is what I get.
Okay, so once you file this and you do this, if it gets turned down, then what do you do?
Ma'am, please stop doing that, all right? That is the opposite of help, okay? That is the opposite of help. What you are doing at this point is goading me, and don't do that. Do not do that.
I'm a realist.
That's okay? Right, and realists, what I have noticed about realists is that realists are primarily excuse makers. They make excuses not to try. Well, you know, it probably won't work.
No,
you know what?
It won't
work if we don't try.
I have told you I will try, and I have told you I will assist you as much as I can, but I cannot guarantee anything. And I don't want it to come back and say, well, you didn't do this, and you said this, and I will try my best, to the best of my ability, to assist you with this and get you to the right agency. That's what I'm telling you.
I am in an unsafe situation.
Okay.
Everywhere that I go.
What will it take to get you safe?
We've been going through that. To get me safe, I have to have an environment where I can sit down and work on this stuff and have the time to do it. The abuse by Leslie Snell, the abuse by Scott DeCosta. It's not like people aren't aware of these things happening with others. It's not like this is a figment of my imagination that nobody knows about. It's not like Scott DeCosta is a hallucination.
No.
Mandy has been helping me to go through this stuff because all of these agencies that I've gone to, I need help with all of this internet stuff. This all costs so much money. I have to live on $800 a month. There is no way to do that. People keep saying, well, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. Well, I've gone to all these agencies that are supposed to help. I've gone to all of the places that I'm told you have to go to these people to turn it in. You have to go to these people to turn it in. I've called all of those places. I've called APS. None of them will even look at the evidence. And if they don't look at the evidence, they can say, oh, well, I didn't know. There is nobody on the friggin' planet who can look at this and not realize what they're doing is against the law. That's why I keep trying to show it to you guys. I get that you guys don't have enough time with your caseload, and the fact is that you need to tell the courts that. You need to tell the public that. You guys need to work together to actually help us out. If we are all being prevented from getting the help that we need because you guys are overloaded, that is not our fault, and you guys need to speak out about that. You know that we can't get the help that we need because of those overwhelming caseloads.
So, and here we go, because I have a caseload. My 11 o'clock is here.
Yes, ma'am, I'll let you go. Be safe.
So,
if you get a hold of anyone...
You're going to be in Sydney on Monday.
Ma'am, I don't know if it's even safe for me. It's obviously not safe for me to go to that area. I can try, but I can't guarantee it.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that they won't lock me up on more trumped up charges. I can't guarantee that... Ma'am, I don't have a safe place to live, and I've been jumping through the hoops for that. The thing is that one abusive environment after another and nobody willing to do anything about it. Like, I have the evidence of the abuse in these places, and even that's not enough. None of it makes any difference if no one looks at it. With my disabilities as far as the computer goes, I mean, ma'am, even these officers admitted that these things are wrong. Their own words show that these things are wrong.
Okay. I will do the best that I can, and I will try to get you connected with the most appropriate agency to help you. That's
yes,
all
ma'am.
I can do, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hopefully I will talk to you in person on Monday.
Hopefully. Be safe.
Okay. You too.
Someone needs to help collect this evidence and get it where it needs to go. It needs to go to the FBI. It also needs to go to the public. I mean, obviously, I've got all these people's phone numbers, all my predators' phone numbers, and I'm not giving them out. I'm not giving out their addresses. Meanwhile, I didn't have to stalk anyone to get these. I mean, right here. So, Campbell, Rochelle Shelley. Bollinger, Alicia. Miles, Kara E. This is on my paperwork from Longmont PD. They did everything they could to help my predators. Not just there, also in Nebraska. Carl Snell is a witness. Yes, he threatened my life along with Christopher Kurth. But unlike Christopher Kurth, Carl Snell apologized for what he did, and he helped me change my tire. I get that that's not a lot, but it's something. So Carl Snell, even after threatening my life, at least did something decent. Dylan Bauer, after being a dickhead all through high school, there in Lodgepole. Afterwards, he was one of the few bullies who apologized to me. He actually turned into a decent dude. We don't want to look at it. We're going to push it on to another agency, another agency, another agency. No, look at the evidence. Look at it. Fucking look at it. God damn it.